Deep beneath one of the holiest places on Earth, scientists uncovered something nobody expected to find. Hidden under the Temple Mount in Jerusalem, sealed chambers untouched for nearly 2,800 years have revealed what may be one of the most controversial discoveries in biblical history.
Temple Mount in Jerusalem has never been excavated, but an illegal construction project 20 years ago opened the door to some major discoveries.
Inside were ancient ritual tools, underground shrines, sacred stones, and evidence of a forgotten religious world buried beneath the very foundations of Jerusalem itself. But this discovery is doing far more than shocking archaeologists. Because what was found beneath the Temple Mount appears to directly challenge the long-accepted story of King Hezekiah's religious reforms. Reforms historians believed had erased all rival worship across ancient Judah. And then researchers noticed something even more disturbing. The chambers had not been destroyed. They had been carefully sealed, almost as if someone wanted this hidden world to survive. Now scholars are asking a chilling question. If this underground shrine remained hidden beneath Jerusalem for nearly 3,000 years, what else is still buried below the city? And the deeper researchers look, the more the history of ancient Jerusalem begins to unravel. The hidden shrine, frozen for 2,800 years. For thousands of years, the Temple Mount has stood at the center of faith, power, and conflict. Empires fought over it, kings ruled from it, and billions of people still consider it sacred today. But beneath the ancient stone foundations of Jerusalem, something extraordinary remained hidden. Using ground-penetrating radar and advanced non-invasive scanning technology, researchers identified empty spaces buried deep below the Temple Mount. Because of the political and religious sensitivity surrounding the site, large-scale excavation had long been impossible. But the scans revealed something no one expected: a network of sealed underground chambers hidden beneath the old city. And when experts examined the chambers more closely, they realized this wasn't simply a buried structure. It was a shrine historians believed should not have existed. A fully preserved religious complex frozen in time since the 8th century BCE. Dust still covered ritual tools untouched for nearly 3 millennia. Oil presses, wine basins, altars, standing stones, even traces of oils and incense remained preserved on altar slabs, creating a direct connection to ceremonies performed thousands of years ago. Researchers described the site as a time capsule untouched by wars, thieves, or collapsing empires. For nearly 2,800 years, no one knew these chambers existed. But one detail changed everything. This hidden shrine existed directly beneath the Temple Mount itself, close to the area associated with Solomon's Temple, one of the most important religious locations in history. For centuries, historians believed worship in Jerusalem became fully centralized after the First Temple was established. According to accepted history, rival shrines and local religious systems were eliminated. But this discovery suggests something very different. It appears that smaller forms of worship continued beneath the surface, hidden alongside the official ceremonies taking place above, which meant the shrine wasn't symbolic. It was active, and someone clearly wanted it preserved. Because the chambers were not destroyed, they were intentionally sealed, as if the people who closed them believed one day they would be discovered again. But the underground shrine itself was only the beginning, because buried inside the chambers was evidence that could challenge the accepted story of biblical history itself. The discovery that challenged biblical history. For generations, historians believed the story was settled. According to biblical tradition, King Hezekiah carried out sweeping religious reforms in ancient Judah. Rival shrines were destroyed, sacred stones were removed, worship was centralized at the Temple Mount, ending localized religious practices across Jerusalem. But the hidden shrine beneath the Temple Mount tells a very different story, because this underground sanctuary was never destroyed. It survived, and that single fact created a problem historians still cannot fully explain. Inside the sealed chambers, archaeologists uncovered evidence of a thriving religious world operating quietly beneath official worship. Cooking pots used in rituals, loom weights connected to sacred garments, incense tools, scarabs tied to Egyptian spiritual traditions, seals and pottery dating directly to the era of the First Temple. These weren't random household objects abandoned underground. Together, they revealed a structured religious community deeply connected to everyday life in ancient Jerusalem. But then researchers discovered something even more unsettling. The shrine wasn't isolated. The artifacts suggested this form of worship may have continued quietly, while official temple ceremonies were happening above ground at the exact same time. The loom weights were especially surprising. Researchers believe they may have been used to produce priestly garments or altar cloths, suggesting women and temple workers may have played a far greater role in sacred rituals than historians once believed. But one artifact shocked experts more than anything else: a standing stone, still standing upright after nearly 2,800 years. According to accepted history, sacred standing stones like this were supposedly destroyed during Hezekiah's reforms. Yet this one survived directly beneath the Temple Mount itself. That changed the entire discovery. Because if the stone survived, then maybe the reforms were never as complete as history claimed. Why preserve it? Why seal the shrine instead of destroying it? Some scholars now believe ancient religious practices may not have disappeared at all. Instead, they may simply have gone underground, hidden from public view while continuing in secret for generations. And if that's true, then ancient Jerusalem was far more spiritually divided than anyone realized. Official temple worship above, hidden religious traditions below, two worlds existing side by side beneath the same city. For centuries, history described Jerusalem as religiously unified. But beneath the Temple Mount, archaeologists may have uncovered evidence of an entirely different reality. And the deeper researchers looked into the chambers, the more dangerous the implications became. Because this discovery wasn't only changing archaeology, it was beginning to shake religion, politics, and history around the world. Why the world is now in shock the moment news of the hidden shrine became public. The reaction spread far beyond archaeology. Religious leaders, historians, governments, scholars across the world began debating what the discovery truly meant. Because the Temple Mount is not just an ancient site, it is one of the most politically and spiritually sensitive places on Earth. Sacred to Jews, Muslims, and Christians alike, the area has remained at the center of religious tension for centuries. And now, buried beneath it, researchers had uncovered evidence of a hidden spiritual world, surviving for nearly 2,800 years. Jewish scholars began questioning long-held assumptions about Hezekiah's reforms. Muslim leaders raised concerns about future excavations beneath the Dome of the Rock. Christian historians debated how discoveries like this could reshape understanding of Jerusalem during biblical times. And politicians quickly realized how explosive the situation could become. Because this discovery raises enormous questions. Who controls the history buried beneath Jerusalem? Should archaeologists continue exploring beneath one of the world's holiest religious sites? And what happens if future excavations reveal even more hidden shrines beneath the city? But the deeper implication may be even more unsettling. For centuries, historians believed Jerusalem's religious history was settled. The reforms were complete. The rival shrines were destroyed. The old ways disappeared. But beneath the Temple Mount, archaeologists uncovered evidence that another world may have survived in silence the entire time. Hidden chambers, preserved rituals, sacred stones history said should no longer exist, which means the real story of ancient Jerusalem may never have fully disappeared. It may simply have been buried. And if one hidden shrine survived beneath Jerusalem for nearly 2,800 years, then history may not be lost at all. It may still be buried beneath the city, still hidden beneath Jerusalem, waiting for someone to uncover it.